Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about HTML form elements. And before we move on, I want you to know that we are from Vicsad Academy. I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, also comment on our videos, follow us on those social media platforms like Facebook, meaning join our Facebook group, like our Facebook page, join our Telegram channel on Telegram, and also follow us on Instagram so you can get the latest news about us and latest updates about us. So let's move into the HTML form elements. So guys, we'll be talking about the HTML form elements, and when I mean the HTML form elements, I mean these are HTML elements that works with the HTML form so that the HTML form can be able to display different types of forms, different types of control, and different ways of submitting information. Let me come again. When I talk about the HTML form elements, it means that these are HTML elements that works with the HTML form, or that works inside the HTML form, so that the HTML form can be able to display the form in different ways, in different styles, so that you can be able to submit your form in different ways and control your form in different ways, and so that the form will be able to interact with the user in a different way or different styles. So you get me? HTML form elements are HTML elements that works with the HTML form, or that works inside the HTML form, so that HTML form can be able to display the form in different ways or styles, submit in different way or styles, and control the form in different way or styles. So guys, the first one we'll be talking about inside the HTML form element is input elements. So what do you mean by the input elements? The input element is the most common type of element, and we talked about the input element in our last tutorial. And the input element takes in an attribute known as a type attribute, in which we used in the last tutorial, and it has a lot of values like text, email, tel, number, and many more. So the input is the first on our list here. It is the number one HTML form element that is common because it has a lot of values for the type attributes to take in. So let's go there and do some classwork or some practical examples. So now we talked about the HTML input, and we said that HTML input is the major type of form element that is used. So the HTML for input form element is used for displaying a single line text field by default. So you can see that the HTML input element is used to display a single line text field. It allows you to display a single line text field. So let's do some practical examples on that. So this is the input element, and remember, it does not have a closing tag, it only has an opening tag. Yeah, so it takes in an attribute called the type attribute, and also it takes in some other attributes like the list attribute, but we'll be talking about that in some other tutorials, so let's just leave that away. So remember that we said it's used to display a single line field, text field by default. So Ctrl S, and I'm gonna go back to my Google Chrome and refresh the page. So you can see this is a single line text field. That is the work of the HTML input element, because we said the input form element is used for displaying a single line text field. So that's a single line text field. And remember, but it can be displayed in several ways depending on the type attribute given to it. It can be displayed in several ways depending on the type attribute given to it, and we talked about those type attributes in our last tutorial. So let's move to the next one and let's find out what the next one is. Now the next on the list is the select element. And when we talk about the select element is used to create a drop down list. The HTML select form element is used to create a drop down list, and you know what a drop down list is? It's just like a lot of options in form of a drop down. And if you don't understand, the moment starting a practical example, then you understand the meaning of drop down list. So if you are any place you are coming across drop down list, it is the work of select elements, and it helps the HTML form elements in displaying the form in different ways, and displaying the form in a drop down list style. So let's go there. And the HTML form elements, and that's why you see this in front, comprises of a lot of other attributes and a tag known, or a element known as the option element. And the option an element and the option element. The element is the option element, and the option element comprises of the option tags. And I want you to know that both the select element and the option element has an opening and a closing tag. The select element is the parent tag, and then the option element is inside the select element. So let's take a look at the practical example. So guys, I want us to use some comments. So HTML input form. So I'm gonna copy this. So remember, the select element has an opening and closing tag. So inside the select element, you put in another element. Inside the select tag, you put in another element or another tag called the option tag. So let's put it there. So I want you to know that in this drop down list that we are creating, it is the option tag as an element has an opening and a closing tag. The option element has an opening and a closing tag. But when we reach some aspect of like the data list elements, the option tag, the option element, we have only the opening tag. Oh, okay. Now we want to create a drop down list, and I've input my select opening and closing tag, and I've input my option opening and closing tag. So now I want to make you understand something. The select opening tag, we carry a attribute called the name attribute. So because it is for cars, so I'm gonna give it best and give it underscore cars, and then this will carry the value. So it is just like the input element but in different ways. This is the syntax of creating a drop down list in an HTML document. So we give it value Benz. So I'm going to copy the whole of this. So I'm gonna give this Ford, give this Tesla. So how many of you know Tesla? If you know about Tesla, okay, just write little thing about Tesla in the comment section below right now. Just pause. Alright, the little thing about Tesla. So this will be my last but not the least, and that will be the fifth one. 2, 4, yeah. Control C. I think I should put yeah. Yeah, so now I've made 5 option elements, and I gave them a value of, I give them different values like Benz, Saab, Ford, Tesla, and Toyota. So I'm gonna click or press Ctrl S right now, and then I'll go back to my web page to refresh it. Now, can you see the drop down? And my drop down has nothing to show because I've not input or type in the text that will show in between of the opening and the closing option tag. So it is the text that is inside the opening and the option, the in between of the opening and the closing option tag that will be displayed there. But remember, those options you are seeing that does not have any text carries a value, and the moment I click on any of the value and submit my form, that is what the form will carry, even though there is no text to display. So the reason why the text is displaying is for the users to know the value that that particular element tag is carrying. So first of all, I'm going to give it a break tag so that the drop down list can come to the, I think, third line. Yeah. So Control C, oh sorry, Control S, and here Control R. So now the drop down is here. So the moment I begin to put text here, it is those texts that will be displayed outside as the real drop down list. But remember, even if I decide to put them here, by the time I'll submit the form, it will go to the it will show in the link side as Ford. So let's give this Ford. So you can see, so I can decide to choose anyone I liking to choose or that I'm capable of choosing. So I think I should choose Tesla this time around. Yeah. So but the moment I submit my form, the name will be best cars, and to submit my value as Tesla. So this is how to create a drop down list. So I've talked about the select elements, the option element which has an opening and a closing tag, and also remember the select element has an opening and a closing tag. Now I want to talk about an attribute called the selected attribute. Oh gosh, Ctrl Z. So what do you mean by the selected attribute? The selected attribute is an attribute that is input or that is typed inside the option opening tag, which is used to define the default selected in a drop down list. So do you understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to just make you understand is that for you to show if you want the default selected option to be a particular one, you need to use the selected attribute, and that's why I said the selected attribute is used inside the opening option tag, which is used to define the default selection in a drop down list. So automatically the default selection of any drop down list is the first option, which is Benz, and that's why anytime I reload this page, the default you see here will be Benz. So let's reload it. You can see. So let me change to Saab. So when I reload it now, you see to change to Benz because that is the default. And I think guys, let's zoom for those maybe on mobile phone. Yeah. Now. So you can see it's changing to Benz. So if I should take it to Tesla now and I refresh the page to change it back to Benz because that's the default. But I don't want my default to be Benz. I want my default to be Tesla. So I will go to my source code and then I'll put the selected attribute there. Control S, and then I'll come back and refresh the page. You can see that Tesla is my default. Remember that let me put Control Z. So Control S, and then I'll come back here and refresh the page. You can see that the default by default is Benz, but the moment I put in my selected attributes, that's Control Shift Z and Control S, and then I will refresh the page, you see to change to Tesla, because now I've made Tesla to be the default. Anytime anybody comes to this page, open this page, the default of the drop down list should be Tesla. So let's move on and talk about another attribute. So first of all, I'll skip this size attribute. I'll go to the multiple attributes. Yeah, so let's go to the multiple attributes, and remember that the selected attribute is located inside the option opening tag, but the multiple attribute is located inside the select opening tag. It's located inside the select opening tag, so don't get this thing wrong. The selected attribute is located inside the opening option tag, while the multiple attribute is located inside the select opening tag. Yeah, so I'm gonna put multiple here. So I'll refresh the page, and as the moment I put in the multiple, do you know what will happen? I'll be able to choose multiple choices, not only one choice, and that's the main work of the multiple tag. So I'll come back here and save it, and then refresh my page. Yeah, this is it. So I'll be able to choose multiple options. So I can decide to choose 3 of my best cars: Benz, Tesla. So guys, I was trying to choose 3 of my best cars, but I was unable to choose this because you people, I need you to understand something. You can see that I clicked on Benz, I clicked on Tesla, and I was trying to click on this Saab or Ford. I was like thinking which one should I choose. So one thing you don't understand is that you won't be able to choose multiple options except you know this. You know that back in our code, you already put the multiple attributes, which allows users to choose multiple options. So automatically we are able to choose multiple options. But why is it that it's not happening? It's because, one, if you're on the Windows operating system, you need to click on the control button to choose multiple options. Then I'll press the control button right now. Yeah, then I can click on multiple options: Benz, Tesla, or Ford. Or I want Benz, Tesla, and Saab. So if you're on the Windows operating system, you use the control button to be able to choose multiple options after putting the multiple attributes inside your code. But if you're on the Mac operating system, Macintosh operating system, you click on the command key. Click on the command key. Sorry, I'm missing it up. Button and key. Click on the command key, and then you can be able to choose multiple choices, options, whatever. So now I'm on Windows operating system. I'll click on the command, and then I'll be able to choose on multiple choices. So Benz, Tesla, and Saab, and also one Ford. So I clicked on 4 options, leaving out Toyota, and that's what I want you to know. And also, you can use your mouse by you clicking on press down your oh guys, sorry for that. Press down on your left click, your left button. Yeah, left click it, and then you can be able to choose as many. So that's it. But I will prefer you using the control button to do that. It is better for you to use the control button than using your left click to choose. So if you're on Macintosh, use your command. If you're on Windows, use your control or left click. Yeah, so back to our tutorial. We talked about the multiple, and the next one on our list is the size in which I skipped. Yeah, so back to the size. Now, what is the size attribute? Let me explain to you. So guys, I paused the video and I played it back. So when I talk about the size attribute, the size specifies the number of visible options in a drop down list. So let me come again. The size attribute specify the number of visible options in a drop down list. And what do you mean by the size attribute? It means you want a particular number or a particular options to show when the page reloads. So by default, when the page reloads, it only shows the number 1 option like Benz from the beginning. But when we put in our multiple attributes, the old option, the whole size like 4 was showing, size 4 was showing, but with our size attributes we can change, or we can give it different size we want it to be showing, different size values. So put in your size attribute equals to, and then I'll first put 2, Control S, and then I'll come back and refresh the page. So you can see that only two of the option is visible right now until I scroll down, because automatically putting the size attribute, it will attach a scroll down button for people to be able to scroll and see the other options. So you can see Toyota, Tesla, you can see Saab and Benz, 2 options. To just be showing 2 options. So I can decide to change it to 3. So you can decide to see 3 options. So I'll give it 5 for us to be able to see all the options. This is 5, so we don't need to scroll, even though the scroll bar will be there. So this is 5 options, so we can be able to see everything and choose as many as you want, because you are using the multiple attributes. So I chose 3 values. So another thing is, I want us to give it the value of the size. The size attribute should have a value of 0. Control S, and then let's see what will happen. Wow, it gave us the default value, and this is the default value because we are using the multiple attributes. So let's give it the value of 1, and let's find out what will happen. Wow, it gave us the normal one, in which you will see without using the multiple attributes. When you remove the multiple attributes, it is like what it will be showing, just one value, but it will not have a scroll bar. So that is for the select element, the option element, the multiple attribute, the selected attribute, and the size attribute. And I said the size attribute is used to specify the number of visible options in a drop down list. So let's move on to the next one. And what is the next one? Which is the data list element. Now the data list element, let me explain something about the data list elements. The data list elements specify a set of predefined options for an input element. It can be used to provide quick choice for an input field. Now the first thing I want you to know is that the data list element works with the input element or the input field. It works with the input field. So, and 2 is that is a drop down list menu. It appears in a drop down list menu. So take that on here. The input, it works with the input element or the input field, and 2, it is a drop down list like a select element. It appears in a drop down list but provide a quick choice for an input field, and that's why the data list elements specify a set of predefined options for an input element. It can be used to provide quick choice for an input field. So the another thing I want you to know is that it is a predefined option. It is not the actual option you have to choose. You can decide to change the option. Even you can decide to put in a value that is not part of the option, or a information that is not part of the option, but it is a predefined. It's just trying to know your thinking, or just trying to guess for you that is this what you are trying to choose. Okay, just click on me, don't need of writing it again. And so let's go there. First of all, I would like you to know that the data list has an opening and a closing tag, and it makes use of the opening option tag. So first of all, let's create our comments like I said. HTML list form element. Yeah. Now the HTML data list form element, it has an opening and a closing tag, and it makes use of the option opening tag. So meaning the option opening tag is inside the HTML data list tag. So sorry, So I'm gonna take this off. And I'm gonna give it a value. So I'm trying to create a predefined option of tags because we are trying to ask our user which tags did they like the most. So I'm gonna copy this. Sorry. Do you know the B tag, the bold? Now there's a mistake here, but I'm going to show you my mistake. It's just a simple mistake, not even related to coding like that. And I'm going to give this the li tag. That's my mistake, tags. Let me just give it something like, yeah. So these are our option. These are predefined option. So because we said it works with the input field or the input element, so we have to bring in an input field. So I'm going to copy this and I'll come back here and paste it, and I'll give it this thing of text. Yeah, because even that is even the default. So I'm going to put in some text here and say choose your best tag. Ooh. Yeah, so choose your best tag, and then I made a value of p tag, b tag, pre tag, li tag. We change this to something like title tag. So I'm gonna refresh the page, sure, and then I'm gonna use the breakout tag to break. So I'll bring it here, Ctrl V. So I've put in my break tag, so I'm Ctrl S, and I'll come back here and refresh. Now it is down. So because I want my input field to be down, I'm going to break it again, and I'm still going to explain about that is because it is not showing any predefined options. Just calm down. Let's put in the break tag again. Ctrl C, and then I'll come back, yeah, and I put Ctrl B. So Ctrl S, and I'm gonna remove the break tag here because the data list element and the input field are joined together. Ctrl S. So I'll come back here and refresh the page. Yeah, hope there's no any break tag in here. Oh yeah, let's remove the break tag here. Let's give it just one. Yeah, Ctrl S. So I'll come back here and refresh or reload the page. Now there's an attribute called the list attribute. And what is the work of the list attribute? Let me explain. The list attribute inside the input element, meaning the list attribute is inside the input elements, and it is used to connect the data list using the ID inside the data list to function or to connect them together. So now for this predefined element drop down list you want to create, you need two attributes called the list attribute and the identifier attribute known as the ID. So first of all, I need to put in my list attributes here. So I'll give it a value that will be equal to that value inside the data list attribute. So now I want our list to take the value of your tags, and then I'll copy this, Ctrl C. I'll come back to inside the opening tag of the data list elements and Ctrl V, and then I'll change this to ID. That's what it calls. What is called the identifier attribute. So now this will connect the input field or the input element with the data list element. So Control S and then go back and refresh the page. Control R. Can you see it? Let me refresh the page again. Immediately you click on the input field, it will automatically show the stuff. It will automatically show this for you to be able to click on any one of them. So that doesn't mean that should be your option. You can decide to choose outside the drop down list by you choosing, okay, I want which tag I want another list. That's your tag. But it's just trying to know your mindset or trying to guess for you. That's why you see this or this, so you can decide to just choose any one of it. It's just like a suggestion. You can see a good example of that is Google search engine. When you want to type in something, I want to type about, okay, I want to know more about Tesla Cybertruck. So as you're typing it, you see that you start bringing out some suggestion. That is a very good example of the data list element. So let's go back to our this thing and check. You see, we talked about the list, I'm talking about the ID. So the next one is the opt group elements. So we are talking about the opt group elements. And what do you mean by the opt group element? First of all, I want you to know that the opt group element has an opening and a closing tag. The opt group element has an opening and a closing tag, and the opt group element is used to group options in the select element. And I want you to know also that the opt group element does not work with the data list element, but it is used to group the options in the select element. Let's go there. And we're going to be talking about an attribute known as the label attribute. Now this is a data list element, so I'm not going to use it because the opt group element does not work with the data list element but works with the select elements. Now I want you to know also that the opt group element is inside the select element but is used to group the options inside the select element. So put my opt group, and I want you to know it also has an opening and a closing one. So I'm going to copy, Control X, cut this, and then I'll put it here. Yeah, so that is how to place your opt group opening and closing tag, because we are trying to group some options. So I've decided to group the first two options in an opt group element, and then it is used to give those options title. So I'm going to give it a title. And how can you give it a type 2? You make use of the attribute called the label attribute. So I'll click on Ctrl C to copy that, and Ctrl V, and then equals to, and then I'll put trending cars. I'm making mistakes. Ctrl S, and then I'll come back to reload the page. Now can you see the trending cars? But you won't see it very well until I just decide to maybe size 3. Let's give it size 3. Yeah, can you see I've classified or I've grouped these first two options, best and sub, under trending cars, and that is why this one went that way. So I'm going to create another opt group. So now do you understand the work of the opt group? So Ctrl C, which is copy, and then I'll come back here and create another one. And if you have any question that you don't understand, you can message us at vicsadacademy@gmail.com, in which you can see below on the screen. So I'll take that away and I'll put best cars, Ctrl S, and then I'll refresh the page. Now under the best cars we have Ford, Tesla, Toyota, and under the trendy cars we have best and sub. So we grouped our option, and that's the work of the opt tag. And let's take a look at the next one, which is text area elements. So guys, we are talking about the text area element. And when we talk about the text area element, I want you to know that the text area element, it's a very good element because it allows a multi-line text field. So what is the text area element? The text area element is used to set up or create a multi-line text field. Like I said earlier, the text area element is used to create a multi-line text area field, a field that allows you to write in the multi-line area, but not in a single like area, like the input type attributes that is equals to text value. Now, when in the input type, when you give your the type attribute the value of text, it allows you to write in a single line field. But when we talk about the text area, you can write in a multi-line field, and if you don't understand, you may do some practical examples, you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to talk about. And I want you to know that the text area make use of the rows and the column attributes. So let me just clear this off. So let's go there. So let's create a comment. So please, in every of your code, as a good coder, I would like you to use or make use of comments. So text area, yeah, so we've created our text area because also the text area has an opening and a closing tag. So like in our format tutorial we explained about those opening and closing tag. This is the opening tag, and you know that this is the closing tag. So Ctrl S, and then we'll come back here to refresh the page. So we have a text area, but our website is not looking beautiful, so I think we have to do something like breaking this thing with the BR tag. So here we'll give it a 2BR tag, break tag, Ctrl C, then we'll come back here, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, Ctrl S. Yeah, so this and these are friends, and this is different from them because this is the text area and it allows you multi-line. And apart from allowing multi-line text field, you can resize it as the user on that website to any place you like, except it's being restricted. So you can see the I'm just guys, sorry. So you can write as many lines as possible you can write, because the text area is a multi-line text field, and that is for the text area. And remember, we said that the text area has two values, the rows and the colon attributes. So, and I also told you that you can resize this the way you like. You can try to resize it, to continue resizing it. So come back here, and then we put the rows attributes, and the rows attributes, let's take a look, or let me explain what the rows attribute perform inside the text area elements. The rows attributes is used to specify the visible height of the text area elements. So in short form, the rows attribute is used to give the text area height. At the same time, you can use the height attributes and the width attributes, but the rows is reliable because it's just the visible height of the text area. So once it will display 20 rows, Ctrl S, and then we'll refresh the page. Can you see how 20 rows is long? Because it shows to display the visible height. So it's as if the height is 20. So we gave it the 20 rows. And then what about the cols, which serves as columns? The cols is used to specify the visible width of the text area elements. The visible width of the text area elements. That is the visible list of the text area elements. So I'm gonna give our cols a value of 40, as if you have width 40. Just you get Ctrl X, then Ctrl V, Ctrl S. Now we have the rows of 20 and a cols of 40. But remember, because it is visible height and we have not restricted the text area, we can still resize it anyhow. See, but by default, that's when we load the page. It will give us a cols of 40 and a rows of 20. Yeah. So the next on the list is label elements, and this is a very interesting element, a very thing to know about this HTML form. So guys, we are talking about the label elements, and when we talk about the label element, first of all, it has an opening and a closing tag. Put that at the back of your mind, and also it makes use of the for and the identifier attribute, which is in short form ID. It makes use of the for and the ID attribute. I want you to know that the label tag makes use of the for and the ID attribute. So what do we mean by the label element? It is used to create a label for items in a user interface. So first of all, I'm going to be showing you how this label works, and it is just used to create a label or title for them, title like this. But the only difference is that with the help of the for and the ID attributes, when you click on this, it then click on the input field for you. Let me just do a practical example for you, a short practical example. And at the back of our code, this is inside the label tag. Just for instance, we don't put inside the label tag, and then it makes use of the for and the ID. So every time I click on this text, it will automatically take me here. That's the most important function of the label tag. So let's go there. So I'm gonna put this inside a label tag, and I'm gonna give every HTML form element here a label tag. So I'm just starting with that label. So I'm gonna cut this, Ctrl X, and then I'll bring it here, Ctrl V. So I'll give it 4. Then I'll give it tags, Ctrl S, and then let's give it tag. So it is different from the list, which is tags, and the ID here, which is, know that the list here is having an value of tags, and we have the ID here as tags. So I'm gonna give it another ID here as tag. So because I don't want this and this to match together, so for and the tag, so Ctrl S, and then I'll come back here and refresh my page. Can you see automatically it's choosing that for me? You don't get. Instead of me coming down here to first click on this, I'll just come to this place. I'll say choose your best tag. So I'll just click on this text, and my cursor is on that text, and then I click on it. Automatically it will choose that for me. So instead of me coming down here to first choose, at the moment I click on this text, because it is a label for that field, it automatically alights or take me to the field. So let's do some other practical examples, starting with this, because it is used to create a label for those field. So I'll give it the attribute of 4, give it as free text. Then I'll give it an ID here of free text. Remember, your ID must be the same. It must carry the same thing. If this is crying freely, or Y is there and that, it won't work. They must carry the same text. So for that to be working, or for that to be the same, just copy this, Ctrl C, and then bring it down here. And for you to cross check whether it's the same, the moment I start highlighting this, you find out that as I'm highlighting this free text, this place also highlighted, but not with blue, but it's just a gray, or should I call it white, that has an opacity. Yeah, the white that is transparent. So that's how it works. And then I'm gonna give it inside here, Ctrl S and Ctrl refresh. That's Ctrl out to reload, Ctrl out reload, or control refresh, but let's call it reload because you can see it here. Reload this page. So back to here, our label is not showing because there must be a text in between here. It is that text that it will be that when the mouse or the cursor is clicked on it, it will take them to the field that is connected to it. So let's say just write a free text, right? Write a free text, Control S, then refresh the page. So write a free text and Q is there, sorry. Control S and then refresh. Now I'm gonna give it B out break so it will be look more beautiful. Control S and then we'll come back here to refresh. Now that's the free text, and then the moment I click on this, can you see what it's doing? Let me refresh it. I'm not clicking on this field, any of this field. I'm not clicking on this. I'm clicking on this write a free text, and then automatically will take me to the field because they are connected. Can you see? And then I'll write the name of my school, blah blah blah. So if I don't want to click on that field because I don't, let's say I did not find the field, so I can find this text but I can't find this field, so I'll just try, okay, write a free text. I'll just click on it. Wow, the field is open, and then I begin to write I am Daniel Israel, no, blah blah blah. So that's the work of the label, and I told you I'm gonna label everything. So I'm gonna copy this, copy, and then I'm gonna give it a label here. Control B, then choose your VSKIT. So because it's a multiple option, I'm gonna put choose your best cars. So we're gonna give it the best cars changed together. Yeah, so come back here and give it an ID attribute. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an ID attribute. Of best cars. So Control S, and then we'll refresh the page. So the moment I click on choose your best cars, it will automatically choose the default selected one, which is Tesla. Meaning if we should take away the default selected, which is this, Control X and Control S, and we should refresh the page. You know our default is always Benz, so the moment I click on this thing, it will choose Benz. Oh sorry, why is it not working? Wow, I don't know why. So let's just put our selected and refresh the page. So I'm gonna click on this to choose our selected one, which is the default. So if you should take this selected and cut and go back to all the normal default and give it as the selected attributes, Control V, then Control S, and we should refresh the page, and we should click on this. It will automatically choose Benz as the default, and we've done for this. So it means our text area. So our text area, I'm gonna just copy this label. So this is our text area. So because let's just give it text area. Come here and give this an attribute, an identifier of text area. So this is to join them together. Yeah, so when I highlight it to be sure, yeah, it's the same thing. Can you see that all other things that have text area are highlighted? So I'll just put my focus on this and on this to be sure, and then I write here users text area. Ctrl S, and then I refresh the page. So the moment I click on this, automatically it will highlight the text area placed for me, and I'm capable of typing there. So let's move on to the next one, which is the feed sets. The feed sets. So when we talk about the feed set element, it is an element that is used to group data in a form. Simple. The feed set comprises of the opening and the closing tag, and it is used to group form data, or to group data in a form element. So the moment to do some practical examples now, you will understand. Remember, it has an opening and a closing tag, and I'm trying to group some form in the HTML form. So I'm trying to group this and this, and then we'll group the text area and this together. So let's go and do that. So because we want to group this input, write a free text, I also want to group this. I'll come here and give it feed sets, and then I'm gonna cut this, Ctrl X, and then I'll come back here. I'll give it a feed set and Ctrl S. So like that, we've grouped those two HTML form elements together. So when we refresh the page, you're gonna see some border around them. Refresh. Now see the border. So this is to group them. So now I want to group this and this together. I'll just copy this, and then I'll come back here, Ctrl V, and then Ctrl X. I will come back to this place because I want to group them together. I'll choose Ctrl V, Ctrl S, and then I'll come back and refresh. Can you see that we've grouped this and this together? Because you can see the border that divides these two HTML form elements from these two HTML form elements. So we're gonna give it here a break tag. Yeah, I want to try something. So it's a probability should work or should do not work. Yeah, it worked. I brought some break tag here, two break tag here, so as to divide these feed set elements. That's so as to divide, to show a clear cut. That's clear cut of power in government. To show a clear cut of this border from this border, so people can differentiate between this border and this border. So you can see this border and this border. So if I should take it away, I mean clicking or pressing Ctrl Z and Ctrl S to save, and then I'll come back here and refresh. It is rare for you to see the clear cut of the border. Then I'll come back and do Ctrl Shift Z and then Ctrl S, and then I'll come back here to refresh. You see the clear cut, and that's for the feed set. It is used to group HTML form elements. So guys, let's move on to the next one, which is legend. So let's take that. Legend. So the legend is used to create a caption for the feed set element or title. If you don't understand, let me come again. It is just used to create a title for this feed set element. We want this feed set element to have title. So the legend element is used to create a title for the feed set element. And I want you to know that this element that we are talking about can work inside the HTML form. So meaning you can even use it with those formal input type attributes we did in the last tutorial, the text, the email, and everything. You can use it, and that's why I'm trying to make you understand that if you have any question, you can message us at vicsad@gmail.com. So the legend element can work with the feed set element to create a title. So you can use it in all those type attributes we did in the last tutorial, as far as they are grouped with the feed set element, and then you can give it the legend element. So let's go there. I'm gonna come here because we group this, then give it the legend. It has an opening and a closing tag. Yeah. So I'm gonna write personal information, Ctrl S, and then I'll come back here and refresh the page. Can you see? We've given this feed set, which serve as a border that group these forms together, a title or personal information using the legend element which has an opening and a closing tag. So I'm just going to copy this and Ctrl C, and then I'll come back here and give it Ctrl V, and then I'll give it external information. Oh yeah, let's just call it external. Ctrl S, and I'll come back here. Let's want to make it look beautiful. So Ctrl S, and then I'll come back here and refresh the page. So now you can see that the other VSKIT elements that serves as a border here has an title of external information, which was given to it by the legend legend elements, which has an opening and closing tag. And some people begin to wonder, why is this VSKIT showing like this? It means that our code is not correct, because the VSKIT is not supposed to show here. So let's go back to our source code now. Yeah, our VSKIT is not supposed to be here. Ctrl X is not Ctrl X. The VSKIT displayed inside the web browser because it's in between the opening and the closing tag of the text area element. So we have to bring it outside here and Ctrl S, and we should go back and refresh our page, and we won't find it here again. Yeah, because you've removed the VSKIT closing tag from in between of the opening and the closing element tag and bring it outside. And so that's a good coder, and that's all for the legend elements. And let's go to the last but not the least, which is the button elements. And simple, the button element is used to just create a button that is clickable for submitting. It is used to create a clickable button, and a clickable button can perform a lot of functions by like submitting, on click, and many things like on mouse over and many more. So we are just going to be using the submit stuff today. So I'm going to come down here and create a button, and it's used to submit a form. That's the number primary function of the button element. So come down here, and I'm going to create a comment like we said, and HTML button form elements. So first of all, the HTML button element is there from those type attributes, values, and many more. This has an opening and a closing tag. So Ctrl S, you've created our button tags, but you need to put it a text, put in between a text, and it is the text that will be showed on that clickable button. So let's come back and refresh. I've pressed Ctrl X, but it won't show because there's no text for it to display. So I'm gonna write click me. Click me to submit, but to submit form. Some of you begin to wonder, what am I typing? So I'm gonna change everything. Click me to submit form. So refresh the page. I'm gonna give it a break tag here. Ctrl C, and then I'll copy this again. Ctrl C, come down here. No, Ctrl S, it's okay like that, because that will be the last for this tutorial. Yeah, click me to submit form. So automatically it will submit the form. Yeah, if I should fill in the whole form now, so let me just fill the whole form. I am Daniel Israel. So I'll come back here and choose trading cards. Let me zoom for you to see. 200. Yeah, then I'll come back here and choose some of my best cars: Benz, Tesla, and Ford. Multiple options, so I have to click on my control button or use left click, and then I'll come back here and choose best tag. I like P tags, popular, trending, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm just gonna write The name of my school is Vicsad Academy. So what else? So let's just leave it like that, and then we'll come back down here and submit our form. So it will show best cars is equals to Benz, and best cars is equals to Ford, and best cars is equals to Tesla. But why I see that isn't submitting other ones? Because we failed to use our name and value attribute. So let's use that. So you're gonna put name, leave a value in it. So yeah, we have to give it a name, and that's the value. I'll select is okay, and here we have to give it a name. So we're gonna choose some these options. So leave that way, and you have to give it a name and a value attribute. So let's give it a short that's called notes. Yeah. So refresh our page, and then resume for people on the mobile phone to see. So first of all, I am let's put so click on your control, choose Benz, Ford, Tesla. I'm gonna click on this, choose your best tag, and automatically highlight this for me, and I'm gonna choose P tag. But remember, you can decide to put your own stuff there if you don't like any of the option. So put P tag, and here we're gonna write yeah. So I'm gonna just academy. Let's type those places in. So this Israel, I'm gonna just take off this W, and then I'll submit my form. That's why I can see best cars is equals to I am Daniel Israel. So meaning this is taking a value that I should take off. Just give it free text. So now I am Daniel Israel. Normally we have changed this to, so if you fill the form again, it's gonna change to free text because I'm Daniel Israel plus this in best cars, Benz, yeah, Ford, yeah, short notes, yeah, short notes is equals to I am Daniel Israel, you know, blah 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 blah. So the only two mistakes we made, you're supposed to give this another value that's different from that of this best cars. So I've given the free text, and then I'm supposed to give this a value. Yeah, so Ctrl S, and I'm gonna fill the form for the last time. and then I'm gonna zoom in this, and then that's the end of the tutorial. So I'm gonna give it okay, Dan Israel, Benz, Ford and Tesla. I'm gonna just click on this, and then I'm gonna click on P tag, and then I'm gonna write I am, sorry for that, I am Daniel Israel. The name of my school is Vicsad Academy. So I'm gonna submit my form. Yeah, free text. I'm done. You say wow, best cars Benz, best cars Ford, best cars Tesla, short notes. Yeah, Vicsad Academy. So I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share to friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe, comment on our videos, and also follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook and our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, and our Facebook group, join our Telegram channel, join our Facebook group, and also follow us on Instagram to get the latest news about us, and also to okay guys oops for that, and also to get the latest update about us. So bye, God bless.